So today I'm going to go over another part of my collection, and I asked on Instagram again. Today you decided that you want to see my Nintendo DS collection. I actually have so many Nintendo DS games that I need to split it into two parts, otherwise it's just going to be such a long video. But yeah, let's get started. So I've got two games here. These are two of the three that I originally had with my Nintendo DS. So I got it for Christmas back in the day, and it was the original like chunky silver one. And the two games that I've still got from that time are Nintendogs, Labrador and Friends, and Zookeeper. It's got a sticker on it from CX because I actually sold it back in the day and then I rebought it because I really wanted it again. I remember spending Christmas morning like trying to get my dog to respond to its name on the terrible Nintendo DS mic. The mic on my DS I think was always faulty because eventually it just completely broke. So then any games that needed like microphone stuff, I just couldn't play. And I remember getting like soft locked in Pokemon Pearl and Diamond when I was in the underground because constantly it would like, I'd run onto a trap and it would like bring up bubbles, you know, blow the bubbles away to get away, and I'm like, oh, I can't. So now I can't do anything and I'd like lose like ages of save time. So that was always fun. So eventually I did upgrade my Nintendo DS and get a Nintendo DSi. But yeah, I did also have Nintendogs, Dash and Friends, but I can't find that. I don't remember selling it growing up, but I must have done. But yeah, let's have a look at some more. So next one I've got is 42 all-time classics. So this is one that I played a lot with my sister. We did play the games on there, so it was stuff like cards, bowling, like all the standard stuff. But it had like a expanded PictoChat. So PictoChat was like the talking service where you could like draw pictures and send them to someone. But this one had like a coloured version. So you could like draw with colours and you could like put stamps and stickers on everything. So we'd spend like ages just like drawing pictures and sending them to one another. But this was good fun though when we did actually play the games on it. And it's one of those games that you only needed a single card to play with other people. So that was really helpful for us growing up. Okay, so the next one is New Super Mario Bros. This was my first like proper Mario game. I first of all actually played Mario Kart Double Dash, so I just played the racing game first before when I was introduced to Mario. But this was my first proper like normal standard Mario Brothers game. They've gone a bit crazy with the new Super Mario Bros thing now and it doesn't feel as fresh, but back then this was like really exciting. And I thought it was quite a good bonus that they had like mini games. And I remember as a kid I was more interested in the mini games for some reason than the standard game. But definitely was lots of good fun. Okay, so next is Mario Party DS. This is one I was really excited for growing up as a kid. Because again, me and my sister would play Mario Party on the GameCube loads. So when I heard that they were doing a DS one, it was like perfect for us when we go travelling and stuff. Because we could just sit in the back of the car when we were doing like our, I don't know, like 4 or 6 hours to like Cornwall or Devon and just play like Mario Party. We didn't for some reason play the board game mode very much. It was more the mini games, which now looking back, the mini games is so short. So how did we like fill up that time? But it was so much fun just to play against one another. And again, it was one that only needed one card. So it was so helpful for us growing up. Okay, so the next one I have is Mario Kart DS. This one I got secondhand growing up and it already had like all of the cars and characters unlocked. I don't know why I didn't reset the game myself. I just carried on playing with like somebody else's save data on there. But I think one of the things that stopped me was I remember that Daisy was an unlockable character in this, and Daisy's like my favourite Mario Brothers character. I can actually see she's like sat right there. But yeah, I didn't want to have to like play through however long it would be just to get Daisy again, so I never reset it. It did have an interesting character as well in Rob. I don't think I've got... No, I don't have any Rob stuff, but he was like the actual physical robot for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. They've never brought him back since, but they did bring him back for Super Smash Bros. So maybe one day we'll get to see him in Mario Kart again. Okay, so next is Mario Slam Basketball. This one, I think I literally only got it as a kid because it was Mario and I was just really into him. I did have no interest in basketball and I don't remember playing the basketball mode very much. It had like a really interesting multiplayer mode, this game though, where it was more like a combat game where you were in an arena. So that was more something I played a lot with friends as well. And also looking back, it's just reminded me that they had Final Fantasy characters. And at the time, I'd never played a Final Fantasy game, so I had no idea who these people were in Mario. I thought they were Mario characters originally. I don't know why I got that idea, but I was so confused as a kid trying to work out who these people were. Okay, so I've got two here now. So I've got WarioWare Touched and WarioWare DIY. Didn't have Touched originally as a kid, so don't really remember much about it. But DIY, this is the one where you would make your own micro games. And it's something that helped get me interested in like video game design and stuff like that. So it's probably one of the contributing factors as to why I did it at university. I remember this had a comic maker, and that was something I really enjoyed doing as well as a kid. I do like physical comics, so like on pen and paper. So this was really fun to do it like digitally. I know it had a companion like WiiWare game, and I always wanted to get that, but I never did get around to doing it, and now it's too late to do that. So you could play like your games that you made on this on the TV. I wish I had done that as a kid because that would have been really cool to play. Okay, so the next one I have is Animal Crossing Wild World. I was so excited when this was announced as a kid because I had the original one on GameCube, but there were so many things in that I wanted to change. Like I know for one thing, when you dressed your character in the GameCube one, you'd automatically be given like a hat with horns on it and you couldn't take the hat off. So I remember being really excited that I could like not wear a hat. The agony as a kid is when you went into one of your villagers' homes and found that they were getting ready to move away and spending ages chatting to them so they wouldn't disappear. So they'd be like, okay, I'll stay. And then still not being sure if you'd like play the next day and they'd be gone or not. Nowadays, you don't have to worry about that. You just have their amiibo card, and if they didn't move away, you can just tap it and bring them back. Next one, didn't play too much and don't really have much to say about it, but it's Worms Open Warfare 2. I just got this because I really liked the original Worms on PlayStation 1, and I was just hoping for like a portable version of that. But I think this is more fun when you have people to play against, so it just wasn't that exciting. Next is probably one of my favourite games on Nintendo DS, and that is Dragon Quest Sentinels of the Starry Skies. I remember seeing this, I think it was in Curry's. I didn't know anything about it, I just saw the cover and looked on the back and I was like, oh my god, I really want this. And luckily my mum and dad bought it for me. I had so much fun with this. It was my first ever entry in the Dragon Quest series. Probably might still be my favourite one that I've played. But I think the reason I really liked it is because in most Dragon Quest games you have like a set cast of characters who already have personalities. Whereas on this one you created a party of 4. So I could like project on them like my own backstory and stuff with them. I also remember like something stupid I did as a kid, but towards the end of the game, spoilers, you lose access to like your, I think the fairy's called like Stella or something like that, but she's like your companion, and basically you can't see her anymore. So I was playing like the end game stuff, and it was like very lonely because I didn't have like the constant guide talking to me. And then I just went back to one of the random towns, and it triggered a cutscene that I didn't realise I was supposed to go and do, and I couldn't unlock her back. So I spent like ages of the game playing without the person I was supposed to have with me. I wish I'd like known about it, but back then the internet wasn't as big a thing, so I didn't like look up guides and stuff. And I'd have to rely on what Nintendo magazines were telling me at the time, and I don't remember reading about that. So I was so upset when I lost her. And then like 2 weeks later when I was still playing, I was like, oh, I could have just got her back straight away. Okay, so next I've got Harvest Moon DS. This was my first Harvest Moon game, and probably my favourite one. I've tried so many of them and none of them have really like recaptured what I felt when I played this. Although saying that, ever since I played Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon really pales in comparison. Harvest Moon had so many things wrong with it that Stardew Valley has fixed for me. But back in the day, this was like the perfect game for me. I remember finding like a really weird glitch as well as a kid, where if you like hired the harvest sprites in winter and put them to work on the beach, the game would like glitch for some reason and give you like £900,000 like in-game money. So I'd just do that every winter and then my character would just survive on that. I didn't have to do any farming. But yeah, definitely lots of fun, but I still haven't found a Harvest Moon game that lives up to this for me. So next one is SimCity Creator. I remember playing this for hours and hours on end, just building like towns and stuff. I remember it being quite challenging for me as well. Like it was very, very difficult and you didn't have to run out of land and I'd be like, oh, I don't know what to destroy. And looking on the back, I can see that it's actually got multiplayer, but I never got to play that, and now I'm wondering what multiplayer on this is like. Maybe one day we'll get to find out. Okay, so next is Theme Park for Nintendo DS. This one was actually my sister's game growing up, but I remember borrowing it loads, and eventually she didn't want it anymore, so I basically had it from her. I think it reminds me a lot of the PlayStation game, and I'm not sure if this is a remake of it, but yeah, you basically just design your own theme park and run it. I remember it being really, really glitchy because like people in the game would get stuck on like nothing and then they'd complain, or like you'd hire people to clean the park and they just wouldn't clean certain areas. But it was still a lot of fun. But it was still one of my favourites growing up. And again, I still haven't found like anything like this particular theme park game that I've enjoyed. I've seen like ones on 3DS I remember, but they never were as good as this. Okay, so this is going to be the last bit for this section. I've got 4 games that are all from the same series, and that is the Professor Layton series. So I've got the first 3, and it's in like this case. I got this from Club Nintendo back in the day when you registered like the first 3, you'd be able to get this for free. And then I've also got the 4th one, which is the prequel, The Spectre's Call. Didn't enjoy The Spectre's Call as much because it had a different cast of like characters, and I didn't want to like watch the story of them getting to know each other. I wanted to like carry on the original story. So I don't know why they didn't just start with this one. They basically did what Star Wars did for some reason. But my favourite one is probably number 3, which is Professor Layton and the Lost Future. What happened to Professor Layton? He just disappeared and they stopped making his games. I know there's one on the Nintendo Switch what I've got somewhere over there, but it's not Professor Layton itself. I can't remember what the relationship is between the character and Professor Layton. It was okay. Not the same as the original Professor Layton. I wish they would like make some more. I know they've done like a remake of the games on like iPhone, but I don't want to play them on my iPhone. I want them to like port those games over to Switch or something. I'd definitely replay them all. Yeah, that's the first half of my Nintendo DS collection. I've still got plenty of games to show, so I'll be putting that out in a few days' time as well. Yeah, if you want to stick around and see more, make sure you subscribe. I've still got a bunch of systems to go over. I mean, you can see behind me, I've still got like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Switch, Wii U. I'm going to keep putting polls up as well, just to see what people are most interested in seeing next. And then once I have shown individual parts of my collection, I'm going to do like a full tour of the room, because it's more than just what you see behind me. The whole room is decorated with gaming stuff. But yeah, thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!